The most important thing in this job is producing actionable reports, right? So ethical hackers have to report clearly and in an actionable manner. What does it mean? Uh, from the beginning, I have to tell one very sad thing. Reporting is the least interesting part of the job. Okay, but still, it's almost the most important. Yeah, so no matter what hacking skills you possess, and no matter how much time and money you have invested into your skills and toolbox, producing clean and actionable reports is the most important thing in this job. So, what does a good report contain and what does it not contain? Okay, so first of all, it can be readable but by different audiences. That's very important because focusing on only technical things does not provide any business value because it has still to be translated by technically skilled people uh, to their bosses, their managers, and system owners in order to be useful. Okay, so any report has to have these different parts that are readable by different levels of audience. First of all, yeah, there has to be this statement about the scope limitations, about everything else that's just configures the assessment, right? Creates the impression of what this assessment was, and what was the goal, and what was the threat model, and what level of the attacker we have imitated, right? So everything has to be described within one page just to give the understanding when it happened, who did it, and how, and over what scope. The second thing, maybe the most important, is this executive summary statement. Yeah, it should not be longer than one page, even if the rest of the report is 200 pages or 800 pages. That doesn't matter. This executive uh, summary is what it is by definition. It's executive level summary of what happened. Yeah, so that's just a summarization of what is the level of the scope in terms of security. So everything is bad, or everything is okay, or everything is according to expectations, right? And why? Yeah. So this is this is not put into the wording like that everything is bad and so on. If it's bad, you can put it into more politically correct wording. For example, and we will discuss it in detail in further videos. But just to give you impressions how it should look right now, it should read that the level of security as a result of the penetration test has been concluded as that demands immediate improvement. Okay, so this is the most critical thing that you can say about the things that you have observed. Not everything is bad, but it requires immediate improvement because of we have effectively modeled an attack to the infrastructure that has resulted in complete compromise of corporate systems. So this is an executive summary that shows that everything is bad and demands attention of the highest management level possible. Okay. So this is what executive summary stands for. Then, if you have something on the table, you have to list the immediate actions. Okay, so if something really went wrong, went bad, you have to report it immediately, not waiting for the reporting phase of your penetration test project to begin. Okay, and it has to be fixed as soon as possible. So something will definitely be reported along the way, and it should be provided in this section of immediate actions in form that critical vulnerability has been identified and reported and already been fixed, or the fix is in progress, something like that. Then you will have this attack narrative, for example. Sometimes we call it like that. So you just describe what you did in order to successfully penetrate the scope. Yeah, so this is the most interesting, right? The sexiest part of the report. You just provide evidence of what you did, what you accomplished, to showcase the business risk that is identified by this report and proven by your evidence. Okay, and then this technical report starts. This is the the longest part of the report that one by one describes the vulnerabilities that you have found, the proof that these vulnerabilities are valid, and the recommendations you provide in order for them to go away, how it should be fixed from your standpoint, right? So you have to remain objective. You don't know the agenda of internal political situation and the players in the company. You just technically provide the most effective way to get rid of these vulnerabilities as soon as possible. Okay, sometimes there is this very weird requirement to provide more than one recommendation, which is rarely logical. However, you can either fix stuff or you can create some compensating control that just prevents this stuff from happening. Yeah, so sometimes there is this requirement as well. And then some appendices, some information that makes reading the report more easier. Yeah, so for example, if you use some kind of risk assessment methodology to identify the risk of each vulnerability, you have to put it in there for the people to read and understand what's the math behind your risk level that you assign to different vulnerabilities. And just to give you an idea of how you can practice all these skills right now, yeah, assessing the systems given the permission of their owners, you can go and Google some bug bounty programs that exist. This is relatively new thing. Every high-profile target in the internet already has bug bounty programs. So basically, what it is, for example, you hack Facebook and you get rewarded if you found something. Yeah, or you hack Google or Instagram or virtually anything that has this bug bounty program announced, and there is a scope statement somewhere in the world on their website or on the website of the broker that collects these reports and then summarizes them and transfers them to this respected entity that is declaring this bug bounty program.